We're ready to go. Here we go. Good evening. I hereby open this meeting of the Tyngsborough Conservation Commission under State Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, in accordance with the Town of Tyngsborough Wetland Protection Bylaw. The first thing on this evening's agenda is 185 Pawtucket Boulevard, map 28, parcel 115, DEP 309-1033. And this is for Vesper Country Club, the applicant for a notice of intent for the reconstruction of golf hole bunkers at holes number 2, 3, 9, 14, and 16, which are within bordering land subject to flooding, the 200-foot riverfront area, and within the 100-foot buffer zone. This was continued from July 8th.
So the applicant has requested to continue 2 more weeks to allow time to answer SWCA's comments.
What's the date on that?
So it will be, the next meeting will be August 12th.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to continue 185 Pawtucket Boulevard to August 12th.
I have a motion, a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That is unanimous.
That was August 12th?
Yes.
All right, let's move on to, this is for Dunstable Road Culvert, map 15, parcels 71 and 59, DEP 309-1036. The Town of Tyngsborough, applicant for a notice of intent for the proposed replacement of a degraded culvert conveying North Meadow Brook underneath Dunstable Road. This is also continued from July 8th.
We'll continue that. Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to continue Decimal Road Culvert to August 12th.
I have a motion, a second. Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That is unanimous.
I'm flying through them tonight.
There we go. Next is Redgate Road Culvert, map 14, parcel 7-1 and 7-2, parcels 67B1 and 77. This is DBP number 309-1037. The Town of Tyngsborough, applicant for a notice of intent for the proposed replacement of degraded culvert conveying North Meadow Brook underneath Redgate Road. This again is continued from July 8th.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to continue to August 12th.
I'll second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That is unanimous.
It's going to be a busy night.
Okay, this next one is 292 Middlesex Road, map 20, parcel 40-0. Beta Group Incorporated, applicant for a request for the determination of applicability for the proposed soil and groundwater sampling and the removal of an abandoned underground storage tank.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to waive the reading of the legal ad and abutters list.
I'll
Motion.
second that.
I've got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
You guys ended up being first.
I know. John Nero, professional wetland scientist with Beta Group.
Susan Benoit, project manager for Beta Group.
I think Sue will give a introduction and then
An
we'll.
overview of the project
Yeah.
for us. Thanks.
Yes, so the town of Tyngsborough applied for brownfield assistance from the Mass DEP, which they granted, and as a SARS contractor, they tasked us under their site assessment and remediation support services contract to assess the site, the environmental conditions at the site, and bring it into compliance with a Phase 1 site assessment. So to do that, we've conducted a geophysical survey out there to see if, there are any tanks underground, and then we have to install soil borings and monitoring wells to collect soil and groundwater samples to assess the subsurface conditions. And then based on that, data will prepare the necessary reports and filings.
I can run through some of the wetland side of the filing here. So the site is shown within the center. Middlesex Road is up to the northeast. So Beta Group did do an on-site wetland delineation in the field, located the flags with GPS to show them on this exhibit. You have a bordering vegetated wetland complex on the north side of the site that runs basically the span of the entire property from west to east, the wetland being on the north side of that boundary. And then to the south here, we have a isolated vegetated wetland, essentially right along and over the southern boundary of the site. From those resource area boundaries, we have a 30-foot, 50-foot, and 100-foot buffer zone. So essentially, the entire site is within jurisdiction. As Sue mentioned, this project is, for the most part, just soil borings and monitoring well installation, an activity which is considered a minor or exempt activity under the Wetlands Protection Act, but that is not the case for the bylaw, which is one of the reasons we're before you today. So essentially, to conduct the borings, all of which are located outside of wetlands but within the buffer zone, they'll be driving probably something similar to a track-mounted drill rig into the woods using the existing driveway. To each of the borings locations. Locations of borings alone are shown in the blue and white circles, and then the red and white circles are where there will be borings and a monitoring well installed. The use of the drill rig will prevent any kind of mass clearing at the site. They might have to trim branches and saplings to get in, but no formal clearing is proposed. Once the borings are dug and soil samples are collected, they'll be backfilled, brush leaf litter back over it, restore it back to existing condition, and then the areas of proposed monitoring wells will have those wells installed at existing grade, and then be removed in the future once the assessment of the site is completed. If there is any ancillary disturbance of soils from the rig driving in, that will also be raked out and seeded if necessary. That is what I would say the primary goal of the filing is. Another piece of it that will happen, but only after the borings and monitoring well work is done, is Sue mentioned screening the site, for any underground storage tanks that might be out there. There was one identified right along the boundary of the site and the Middlesex Road right-of-way. So in order to get that out, that will require an excavator to come in just off the road, station within the roadway shoulder, dig it out, have it removed, and then have it backfilled, restored back to existing grade, and seeded as necessary. For that work, since there will be some excavation, there are some erosion controls proposed along the down gradient side of it, in between the work and the nearest resource area. So with that, we are requesting that the commission issue negative determinations that recognize that the work is within your jurisdiction, but that we won't be actually altering any of the resource areas at the site and don't require the filing of a notice of intent. Happy to take any questions.
Sure. I'll start. And one of the things when I took a look at this project, certainly we're looking at the potential for some type of remediation in the future due to contamination. So when I think about this, this project, so you're asking for a determination of applicability. But if we were to consider how this was going to be filed, it would be filed under a notice of intent as a buffer zone project. And one of the things, for a buffer zone project, if I look at general provisions that are required under the Wetlands Protection Act, it goes on to say the applicant will be responsible for that the proposed work within the buffer zone will contribute to the protection of the interests identified in Mass General Law, Chapter 30, Section 40, or the Wetlands Protection Act. And it does go on to talk about minor activities, but what my question basically is, so we're going in, is how does the soil borings, the groundwater monitoring wells, and certainly those are identified as minor activities, but I'll go on to throw in if there is the removal of a tank, is that a minor activity also?
No.
In particular with the consideration that this is, we're monitoring this for the potential of contamination. So is there an impact concern with the soil borings and with the monitoring wells if there actually is contamination there?
So those would not contribute to any contamination. They're solely used as instruments to monitor and assess what is out at the site. So simply by, digging the boring, collecting some soil, or by putting in a monitoring well, there's no contribution to additional pollutants at the site. It's solely just exploratory work to be able to better characterize what is out there and in the future conduct the necessary remediation activities. And with the with the tank pole or the underground storage tank itself, that would be removed. I assume there would be an LSP on site or someone on site to monitor
Right, so
that.
somebody reporting to the LSP would be on site. For something like that, they'll uncover the top and then pop it out of the ground with the excavator and then backfill to grade, seed and loam.
Right. So it's really more of a due diligence project more than anything else to inform what needs to be done at the site in order to bring it up to compliance. And the work itself, as we presented it, wouldn't result in any impacts to resource areas since the work is temporary in nature, won't involve any work within the boundary of BVW, and won't result in anything like large swaths of exposed soils that would contribute to erosion into resource areas.
And how about storage of excavated materials? Again, with the consideration that this is a contaminated site and how will those be handled?
So if there's, initially, we're not expecting to excavate any contaminated soil at this time. We just want to get the tank out of there, so it's a historic source probably of the contamination. We want to get it off-site and eliminate that source. Any excavation or remediation around the tank would have to be planned out in much more detail. And DEP informed us recently in the last few days that they expect that work to happen. There are other things that have to happen before that, access agreements, because this tank is actually not on the 292 property, so they need to contact the town and make arrangements to get approval to remove the tank from the right-of-way.
Right.
So there are other things, but it would take a lot more planning. Right now, we're just gonna remove the tank, backfill, bring in clean fill to bring it up to grade, loam and seed. And then after we get all the assessment, we'll base any remediation plan will have to be proposed to DEP. They'll have to agree with the plan, and they'll probably hire a different contractor to do that work, but.
So regardless, with the removal of the tank, there will still be a remediation plan put in place for that?
Yes.
Was that
yes.
really applicable for a determination of applicability with all that work that needs to be done without a plan in place for that?
Right.
Well, we're not doing that work we're not excavating any contaminated soil. We're not going
But
to.
you're pulling the tank out.
Yes, and all that soil is going back into the excavation. There'll be, typically, if it's contaminated, they'd put some poly down over it as a marker layer, so to identify where it is, and then put some clean fill over it to bring it up to grade.
Right, and although the tank pole itself, is I totally recognize is not within one of those minor exempt activities. By filing the RDA, we are, essentially making the assertion that that work can be done in the manner that will have no impact on the downgrading resource areas, without, really the need to impose conditions on it as you would through filing a notice of intent and receiving an order of conditions.
The DEP also has told us that if that's a point for not getting the negative determination, then we could, set that work aside and do it under a separate filing.
Right.
If that becomes an issue,
Right.
especially since it's not the immediate work that has to be done is the subsurface assessment and the tank removal. There'll be, a gap before we could proceed with that.
Yeah, in particular for an RDA, I'd be looking for how is that all tied together? How is that whole process with the tank removal, the backfill, then the remediation steps that take place? Our RDA really isn't covering that right now, so.
Well, so the remediation wouldn't be proposed. We recognize that the remediation would require a separate filing. This would purely just be to remove a historic source of contamination from the ground. Any soil that's on it or around it would stay in place, and then clean backfill would be brought in to bring it to grade. And then in the future, depending on what comes of the site analysis and what's found, then a remediation plan will be developed, and then I anticipate something like that would be a full NOI filing, since there'd probably be potentially, depending what's out there, more substantial earthwork at the site.
Who owns this parcel?
The
Town
town.
of Tyngsborough.
Oh, okay. What was the storage tank used for?
We think it was part of a historic gasoline station,
Yeah.
just wasn't removed.
Was there, that's gotta be on record in the town somewhere if there was a gas station.
Yeah, well, we did some digging, and it was pretty hard to come by what was actually on the site. We kind of came to assumption that it was probably in the 30s that there was a gas station there. They looked at old aerial footage, whatever photos we had of the site, which was not really much, and kind of just came to the assessment knowing what they could see with the sonar, that they assumed it was part of the gas station.
Gotcha.
So,
Does anybody know if there's material in the tank?
No, because you'd have to uncover the top, open up the tank to do that, and can't
Okay,
do
so,
that at the moment.
This could be a lot worse than, we're making it sound like, oh, we're just removing a tank and backfilling. What if the thing is full of gasoline?
Sorry, I should have added that. There will be a vacuum truck on site to pump out the tank, and that gets disposed of off-site. So
Before they pull the
vacuum
tank
truck
out, they're
will
gonna
pull
open it up, see if anything's inside there,
Sure.
and then take it, whatever in there, we take it out.
Yeah.
Generally standard practice for these kind of, relic sites.
I'm sure if that tank's probably over 100 years old, it's probably.
yeah, looking at it, we think that was part of it. It's
Yeah.
hard to also tell, just because there wasn't any good aerials of the site
Right.
or
Right, we
history of the
didn't
site.
find any, in the few photos they had, you couldn't really tell where on Middlesex Road you were.
Yeah,
This tank is maybe a 900-gallon tank, 800 to 1,000 gallons. It's relatively small, so, which means it's about 5 by 6 horizontally.
It's not really that big.
So that's what I have for right now. Jason, anything else?
No.
The holes you're boring, how deep are the holes you're gonna bore for the testing?
Well, refusals hit anywhere from 7 to 12 feet out there, so
How many holes you gonna drill?
about 15. It's a big area to try to cover, and, multiple source areas. You have the area that is possibly the former gasoline station, then you have a building that was a former auto body shop. So we have to kind of assess both areas. So, and we're using 2 different drill rigs. One is direct push, which generates even less excess soil. It's like a 2-inch diameter, 5-foot barrel that they drive into the ground,
That was the next question. How tall, what's the diameter of the hole? Just 2
2
inch hole?
inches.
Oh, it's tiny, okay.
Yeah, and then a regular hollow stem auger drill rig for the front of the property along the road, which that makes an 8-inch hole, which is then 2-inch PVC put in, and it'll be all filled up to the surface. So,
I like that. Something we have to do anyway. This is, I think we were supposed to do this, what, like 7 years ago?
It was a while ago.
How long do you guys plan to monitor, like, use the monitoring wells? Will they be semi-permanent for a little bit, or will they just be a couple months and then?
no, they'll be there. You wouldn't want to remove them until, the whole MCP process is complete. You've assessed it, you've filed the necessary plans, DEP has reviewed them, completed whatever remediation that needs to happen if necessary, so you want to get through the whole process. And then once you reach closure, they're typically removed within 6 months. Or if you think there's going to be some questions, you leave them longer just in case DEP audits, and they want you to go back and sample, they're still there, you don't have to pay for installing them again. So it's kind of site-specific.
Okay.
Rob?
I'll just add that I am familiar with boring, low-impact machinery. I've used it before, or worked with it, so I'm okay with that. I guess I just want to clarify on the removal of the tank. If during that process that you find contamination, would you then be coming before this board to talk about remediating to remove that
At
contamination?
a later date, yes. Yes.
But I want to get back to the issue if something is found in the tank. I understand the process now, how that goes. And again, the monitoring the wells and the soil borings, those are identified as minor activities that are okay with this process. But there's no description in the description of work what is going to happen if something is found in the tank.
Right, so,
And
yeah,
That'd be a Vector truck would suck it out into the truck.
that's fine,
and-
but I'd like it kind of at least documented within the description of work so that we have a map to go by and understand how the process is
Okay.
going to go. And understand if something would require a deviation from that plan about making that assessment, or something is odd that it can't be, I'm just looking for a
Yeah.
roadmap that's described on how we move forward with this.
I
How do
did
we
provide it
identify
to
what the
DEP.
substance is?
What's that?
We did provide a description to DEP. I can take this out of our work and cost plan and send it to you tomorrow.
Yeah, that's works then. Yeah, because I think I think it's reasonable considering that if you guys do have to go back, at least we can acknowledge in the RDA that there could be extended steps that would be needed, new filing. Or if not, then that's good too. But I think at least acknowledging it in the RDA, the process of what could happen with the storage tank would be
Yeah.
appreciated.
Absolutely.
So if there's material in the storage tank, there's no requirement to determine what it is? It's just vac truck, suck it out?
Well, we will have soil and groundwater data right near it as well, and depending on the condition of the tank, it'll depend. If it's already leaking their holes and everything, then our groundwater sampling is going to catch that and identify what it is. If it's intact and it's not clear what it is, we can take a sample, but it depends what we find. If there's product in there, would take a sample, and then with DEP's approval, send it in to confirm that it's gasoline or diesel or whatever it is. But at the moment, I'm not planning on having to take a sample, but it's a possibility if conditions warrant, you know.
And then I guess this is, I guess, further after this RDA, when you guys go to remediate if necessary, are there plans to like clean the site up, or would that responsibility be put on the town? Like, once you guys do everything?
And I can't answer that. That's definitely a question for DEP. I do know that our assessment, and the Phase 1 report that we'll prepare and submit to DEP is the first step of bringing the site into compliance. Once we have all the assessment data that's necessary to plan, to decide how, you know, which direction, whether we need to go, whether we do need to do a active remediation out there, or whether, you know, the residual contamination now, you know, 40 years later, from the 1988, you know,
Yeah.
report, is maybe the levels don't require, you know, a active cleanup. We'll just have to see, and then I don't know, usually that happens, they have different mechanisms, and they use like emergency response contractors to do tank removal, soil excavations from tank removals or remediation, that type of thing. So, I don't know what the next step would be between you and DEP, the town and DEP.
Fair. Yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah, yes, I don't know.
You guys want to open the public portion of the hearing?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to open the public portion of the hearing.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That is unanimous. Is there anyone in the public who has any questions or any comments about this particular project?
Okay, so do you guys want to continue it, to allow her to?
Yeah, just simply to button up that, what is the roadmap really forward to be able to, if there's something in the tank, and provide actually a little bit, it sounded like you already provided the DEP some information on how the tank removal.
it's
So if we can get that description in place so that now we have something for all of us, not only here, but the public also can refer to see exactly what it is that will be going on at the site and what we've approved.
I don't have any expertise in tank removal. Does it make sense to do the testing and sampling before the tank is removed?
Yes, that is what will happen.
Okay, so, all right, the way I understood it was you were applying for a request for determination to do both things.
We were to try to, you know, minimize the number of filings
Gotcha.
we had to submit. But the first step is the assessment, and then based on that,
But it's a good point, so that would be part of that roadmap at how to move.
Great.
And so if we, we can submit that tomorrow, that's no problem. Is this something you'd like us to come into the next meeting for, or should we just submit it and then just plan on coming if there's questions?
Want to just do that?
Yeah, that
Okay.
would be fine.
Yeah, no, and that's fine, yeah, you can send it to me. I'll have the commission, the rest of them review it. If they have any questions, I can reach out.
Okay.
If it's extended questions, I'll let you know, but for the most part, come the next meeting, we'll just wrap it up.
Thank you.
And just as a quick summary, this all falls within guidelines that are provided within the Wetlands Protection Act. This project the activities going on are certainly fall within minor activities as described for a buffer zone project. We're on the edge a little bit is just the tank removal. But again, if this falls within, sampling is done up ahead of time, we know what we're dealing with when we remove that, and we have a plan going forward, I think we could be okay.
Perfect. Okay.
So the only thing that I can think of that would be at risk for you guys a little bit is we're leaving the public portion open, and we won't close that until we can summarize it next time. We didn't get any comments this time, but certainly there's the potential someone may have a question the next time we
Yep,
meet.
happy to respond if anything comes in.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to continue 292 Middlesex Road to August 12th.
I'll second.
Motion and a second to continue the hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That is unanimous.
Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
out.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
People leave me alone.
Okay, we are up to item 5, commission determinations, 138 Massapog Road, map 2, parcel 6A-0, the removal of 4 trees.
So whenever Pam gets a second, she can pull up the photos for me. So the resident couldn't be here tonight, because she does not live in town, but, this is on Massapog, so those 2 trees she would like to have a company come and remove.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Those 2 right there, and then the one that's already in the water.
Yeah.
So that one, she said, fell late winter, early spring. She doesn't live in town, so they only get up to the camp in the summertime. And when she came up, she realized the tree was already, and then started to browse around the other trees.
Time to go.
Wants a company to come
Those
in.
look bad.
Yeah, those 2 are definitely her biggest concern. She's also concerned about it following in the direction of other property owners too, so. Yeah, so that's it. Told her the stumps would stay, she has no problem with that. Told her that they could be flush cut to the ground, so.
All right. Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the removal of 4 trees at 138 Massapog Road, with condition of leaving the stumps intact.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That is unanimous. Now for violations, 57 Muscoppic Trail.
You mind coming up? So basically, quick synopsis, part of his dock, the legs broke over the winter time, due to the ice shifting. And I just asked him if he could clean it up, and they're here tonight to acknowledge that, and wonder if you guys had any suggestions, or if you guys came up with a game plan.
As you know, it was a very cold winter. I tried to stay ahead. I got components to make a bubbler. And it froze too quickly and I couldn't do anything about it, so I said I had to see what I get in the spring. In the meantime, we took some time to get materials together to try to, and get some help with it, to try to remedy the problem. We're working on it. We're gonna put some plastic barrels under it to stabilize it, straighten that leg out. So we're gonna make, and stabilize it, and then put poles or stanchions to stabilize the dock, because it's gonna be floating. And we're gonna have it so that it sits on the bottom, not drilling down, not screwing into the bottom and disturbing the matter there, because it's almost 2 feet thick. So that's the plan. And in the fall, before that, I'm gonna put components for a bubbler, so this does not happen again.
You guys have any questions?
No, use a bubble, you know there's guidelines on the bubblers. You can't use the regular fan bubble, you gotta use the.
No, I know that. I
You
know
don't- you
that,
don't- yeah,
yes.
okay.
That's why I planted a bubbler like Larry.
Yeah, the small one, yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we'll move as quickly as we can. I should have had them, my nephew offered to help us, and I should have had him start on the outer part of the dock to stabilize that, because that's the ugly part, and I'm embarrassed about it. I don't like it, and I'm, moving as fast as we can to fix it.
Because we call the contractor, nobody can
Nobody
come.
wants to work on a dock.
No, nobody can come, they are busy. So cannot come, so we want to get it done. Then we said, whatever we can do, take out those board, but the dock just for a few years, the materials are pretty good. It's nothing broken,
Just
but we try to,
That leg
you know,
folded under it.
take the boards out, to reset, because one of the leg at the corner, and then because of the, we call foundation or whatever.
It's
So
off
that's
the
why it
block.
dropped down a corner like this. So we try to push it up, reset those leg,
Do we need any permits or anything as a repair?
No.
Thank you.
So we do it ourselves, it take time,
No, understandable.
We don't have any of our normal lake people here.
Ed?
We got Ed, so, I mean, does that
I know-
also
I know the
result
dock.
to,
I just-
don't know about dock.
I'm just amazed, I mean, it's a big
repairs.
dock, it's long. I'm amazed you still even have it in. You don't, I've never seen you out on it. I mean, I'm just saying, you could have it all you want, but it's a lot of work to have that huge dock that you don't even use.
A friend of mine built one like it, and I said, I gotta have one of those, so I built
I
it.
know, I know, Jim, you know what I mean? I see your dock, I know exactly where it is, I know.
But we have a boat, I'm probably gonna try to put the boat back in, so it'll get used.
Yeah, the dog, because we have the boat, we
And everybody
build a
that,
dog for
everybody
the
that does
boat,
come likes to go out on the dock. We have
Yeah.
visitors all the time, and they like to go out
Right,
on
and
the dock.
it's a long dock too, it's what, 45, 50 feet anyway?
Is it that long?
Yeah,
It's a long
at
dock.
least 50 feet.
Yeah.
And then it jets off to an L at the end.
Yeah, they out.
So we'll move as fast
That's
as
nice
we
to have a
can.
table and a chair out there, you sit, relax, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
It's just a
We'll
lot,
move
just a lot of
as
work.
fast as we can and fix
Yep.
it.
It's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. That's why mine are aluminum, they pull out now.
The dock, because the ice pushed that on top of
It
the
actually
shore.
pushed it on
Right.
top of the
So
wall.
is that, okay, don't move anything, just
leave
leave it like that.
But even
Because
a
it's
dock
harder to
that's
move
that
out.
long, even a bubbler's not gonna save it.
No?
You know what I mean? Because the bubbler's gonna keep the ice away, a
Yeah.
foot away from it.
Yeah,
And you get a heavy wind with the ice in the middle of the lake, it's gonna push it up on the shore anyway.
yeah.
If it gets to that point, though,
It depends where you,
yeah.
where the dock is located and which way the wind goes. I mean, the wind usually comes the other direction.
We've been pretty lucky so far. It hasn't
Right.
done this. This is the first year that we've had anything
Right,
serious happen.
because
to it.
usually it's the other direction. The wind comes over the top of your house and wrecks the docks on the other side of the lake.
Yeah.
It just all depends which way the wind blows that day, when the ice starts to melt. And if you're thawed out 2 feet around the whole dock, and there's heavy winds when the ice is melting, and it shifts the ice 20 feet towards the shore, the bubblers didn't do anything.
Right.
I mean, it's still a crapshoot. I'm not a bubble fan, that's why I keep my docks out of the water now, because they can work, it's still
Still a lot of work to do that, though, too, to take them out.
not mine, they're on wheels.
Oh.
I do it myself. I mean, trust me, I've been having the wooden ones like you for years. I got two 24-foot docks now, and they were $6,000 apiece. It would cost me 12 grand. But I can do it all by myself, me and my wife. I just unhook them and take them with wheels and just wheel them into the shore, wheel them back out. It was worth the money.
Oh,
I
that's what I
spent the
will.
last 25 years with wooden ones, lifting them up, taking them in and out, tons of people, ice wrecking them. I'm too old for that now. I bit the bullet. I'm too old, and before I was too cheap. Now it's like, yeah, my back is worth the money.
All right, well, we're not here to really talk about your approach to your dock,
Yeah.
but what I would like to ensure is that, after you've made the repairs and all that is ready to go, kind of including your bubbler, does that get installed, when's that installed?
Like, whenever.
When you just whatever you want.
Yeah,
You don't turn
I
them
would
off.
like to have you contact our conservation director,
Down,
just
have a
let
look.
her know that the project's been completed. And
She's always welcome.
What is the actual violation in this case? Is it that the dock is in disrepair?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that I was just worried that some of the structure was just sitting on the bottom of the lake. So I just wanted it to get cleaned up, so it wasn't, one, sitting on the bottom of the lake, or two, becoming a hazard to either people they had over themselves or anybody else around.
Boulders, yeah, whatever.
Oh, just a
Understood.
quick thing too, you said you're gonna float barrels under them? Just make sure there's no oil in them this time.
Yes, sir. That was ugly. Somebody left the barrel.
Yeah, I remember
Somebody
that.
replaced the barrel.
Yeah,
that,
I got the
you
phone
know,
call.
They
There's
swapped
oil
it.
stuck in the lake. He put a barrel in, and there was still oil in it.
Yeah, somebody swapped one of our barrels out.
But-
So
Okay, awesome.
Thanks, Jim.
Sounds good. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll give you a call as soon as we can.
Okay, sounds good. You're welcome.
Have a good night, guys. I think it's before your time, the oil slick.
No, long before me.
Next on the agenda is 15 Alden Street.
Okay. Again, quick summary. I just received, you guys can come up. Received a complaint that machinery was being used in the 30-foot buffer zone to the edge of Long Pond. So per our protocol, I sent a violation letter, and they're here tonight to explain.
Hi.
We were down there, hi, my name is Mark Peccola.
I'm
15
Kathy.
Allen, that's my wife. We came down there 2 days ago.
Yep.
Spoke to
Yeah,
them
they already
already.
came to talk to me, but I figured they still.
In relation to the letter we got. And I was straight out, you know, until she didn't have to ask questions, although she did. More than your job, it's because you care.
Yeah.
And I have a small Kubota tractor that I use to smooth the beach out, backblade the beach and such. And we put docks in with it. We have forks on it. And drop the docks in the water, grab a pair, drop it in the water, connect, shove it out, set it on some, it's on positive flotation devices. And set some poles in the end of it. And that's how we remove it. But regardless of what we use the tractor for, it was left on, not on the, it was left back where the grass is on the beach, where the wood line is. And somebody said that there's heavy equipment on the beach, and it is considered heavy equipment. There's hydraulics on it and a lot of that. But it wasn't out near the water. And I explained to Emily what we use it for, flat out honest. And that's why we're here.
So they were just cleaning up the leaf debris buildup in the, you know how the culvert and stream pops out between them and whatever the other street on Alden?
Yeah.
He just uses it to pull all the leaf debris out so it doesn't build up, and then just pushes it off
know-
into the woods.
You know the property that the town acquired from the Kiwanis? They put a road up there, and it was state and federally helped funded, that roadway. When they established that roadway, they did a retention pond up there. It's at an incorrect elevation. And the engineering was on point, but it wasn't done on point. And because of that, when we have the spring, late winter, spring thaw, it comes rushing down that road, and it washes the reground, which they use to surface the road, out into Alden Street, across the street, and I'm talking about pieces of pavement and whatever they had filled in there. So I used the Kubota and I clear the roadway off. I'm talking about 6 to 10 buckets of just roadway, and I leave it at the edge of the road, off the road so the plows doesn't interfere with the plowing. For the subcontractors the town hires and the town plows.
Yeah, we do get, there's a natural spring up there, so in the spring, when the spring is running itself and we get rain, all the leaf debris clogs everything up, and then it ends up just all running down the driveway. We had a couple big blowouts this past spring, and because Alden, I think that's autumn, whatever, the street comes just enough of a pitch that it all funnels right to where the culvert is, and a lot of the debris just eats away the road and ends up into the culvert, into the stream, and on their property, so they use the tractor to move everything around to clean it up, which is very nice of them.
Well, I did mention about pieces of pavement.
Yeah,
Wasn't the reground they used for the roadway?
yeah,
Okay?
the pavement that was, yeah,
And they didn't do the correct compaction ratios doing it. I bear witness to this. It's Alden Street. They top coated over a top coat, and that can be done. If you want to do it right, you're gonna put something called a tack down. And that bonds top coat to top coat. And that wasn't done. So it's not incompetence, it's not poor workmanship, it's old. just like me. I have a shelf life, just like that frickin' pavement that I clean up. So it's a common sense issue, but it's about public safety for me. I'm not calling the town to come down and do that when I can do it myself
Sure.
and clean it up. But I'm here because of the tractor, and I hope I was flat out honest
Yeah,
with you.
no, you were.
And it was nice to see you again, regardless. But that's why we're here. And I keep the tractor in the back. We have a humongous carport in the back. You know, Paul Walker knows about it and everything else. And that's where we keep things out of the snow and out of sight as well. And that's where it belongs. Actually, my son, and it's not a blame game here, he left the tractor down there. I'm just glad he took the key out of it. But anyways, he's competent. I'm proud of my son. He's earned his way in life. He doesn't make money, he earns it. And he's pretty cool. But anyways, like I stated, to me, this is an issue, or we wouldn't be down here. But I said, screw this, I'm gonna come down here, because other people may have situations. A lot of people come down here because they got problems. It's a situation that through reason, it can be resolved.
Yeah.
Steps to get resolution to it. But I wanted to come down here to hear what's going on, because I used to come down to these meetings, and I was just down here so I could learn, because I told you it'd be a shame. I'd be kicking myself in the ass if I didn't come down here, because I have an opportunity to learn something. You know? I'm 65, I'm not an antique. I am to some people, but I'm not to me. So I have an opportunity to learn.
Are there any formal regulations on types of equipment that can be used in the borders regions and, you know, I mean, like, where would you draw the line, or where would the DEP draw the line regarding heavy equipment? I mean, obviously, like, you know, an excavator is heavy equipment, but then,
It all depends on the size of the,
yeah, you have tractors, you have,
size of the project and what's gonna be needed to be done with the project. Everyone's different.
Yeah, and we've seen projects that they're putting in a retaining wall. We've seen plenty of other projects where,
Right.
equipment is moving into the area. The only thing I would encourage then, in particular, it sounds like there's been no regrading going on, nothing like that.
Yes, there was. There was, due to that road that they put in, okay? And I have a dossier of how the road, and who was in charge of the road, and what went on with the road that they put in. That's when the situation started occurring, and they reoccur. Because for 2 years, it was springtime of this year, of 2025, and 2024, where they have, I don't know if they're hired by the town as an independent contractor or from the town, but they take water from the pond and they take water from the brook. And then they pop the sewer cover off and take water from there. But the pipe is completely collapsed, so they couldn't get any water out of there. But all that debris washes down, and I'm at that elevation. There's a riser and a fire hydrant right there, and it flows into our yard. So when they're testing the water, he notices that it looks like someone took a 320C excavator and dug a trench through the yard. It isn't that. It's the water and the runoff. Water's powerful, the hydraulic force, and it just carved. So all my whole beach is in the pond now. The whole beach is in the pond. And what it does is it blocks the brook from leaving. So we get leaves, everything. So with that big, he said he took pictures, and I said, I took pictures last year, and thank you for taking pictures. He says, what I'm gonna do is talk to someone to town, because this is a public safety issue. And he said, we're gonna get some trucks up here, we're gonna put some more sand. First, you said you put pack down, I said, yes. And sand, yes. I said, but why are you gonna do it? He said, because it's a public safety issue. I said, unless that road's corrected, it's gonna repeat itself. We're shoveling sand against the incoming tide here, man. Let's make the necessary corrections on the road, whatever it may be, and then we can focus on the beach. Because I don't mind, we have kids. Our kids, our nieces, nephews, they all have kids. We have a big beach,
Yeah.
and I want them there. No one drinks on our property and screws around. We have a frickin' ball, but not when there's trenches. and stuff. So I have the Kubota, and I just backblade and schmooze
Right,
it
you're
out.
restoring it to its original condition.
I just want it safe.
I'm trying to understand
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause it's-
where the violation is and what we're,
Yeah.
No, because it was state about the, I think, I don't even have your name. What's your name?
Jason Miller.
Hi, Jason, I'm Mark, that's my wife Kathy. But I did use the tractor for that, to smooth the rut. I don't want no one to get hurt.
no, I
if
I
you- if
understand
you-
that.
Yeah.
It sounds
you
like that's,
commented-
we can do that, right? You can use equipment to,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
comb a beach.
Right.
If
Yeah.
you're not in the water with equipment,
Yeah.
then you can comb,
Yeah.
it's okay to comb the beach?
Yeah. Well,
Because
and
your comment was about if we were doing any work, but we weren't. We've had it for 20 years. I just wanted you to understand, we're not doing any extra work or nothing. It's
Sure.
it's
And that's
just,
what I was trying to be clear about.
right, it's just, we've had it for
And the
20
only
years.
thing I'd recommend in the future is if you can see, but we see this with lake properties
Yeah.
all the time, is just give Emily a call and let her know what's going on. And you
Yeah.
already seen tonight when you were sitting here, someone wanted to cut their trees
Trees.
down. And
Right.
that's all that happens. It comes in for simple things like that. And what that does is it makes it really easy for us to document exactly what's going on and that we've approved of it ahead of time, even in particular for if you're using your equipment in there, just
Yeah.
to circumvent this from happening again.
Right.
And also,
you do
also what it helps is if somebody calls her, she can say, I already know. He already called us. We know what he's doing. He's
It's
all
our
set.
responsibility as residents of the town of Tyngsborough, Mass. to do it. Because someone mentioned about retaining walls. And I have some belligerent words that I could describe to people that put in retaining walls without contacting, doing it the correct procedure, and getting a drawing that you have intent to create a wall. Getting dig safe, getting the correct contractors there. And the town's entitled to know about this because it's big. And I still see retaining walls going in.
But yeah, we just use it, he uses it for the snow plowing and it's the driveway and
Yep.
stuff. We've had it 20 years. And so you're right, if someone noticed that we had it, walking,
Yeah.
but we've had it 20 years and we know what to
That's
do.
all it is, it's
Yeah,
just
that's
that-
it, and that's fine.
when people, most of the
They don't
time,
know.
whenever somebody calls and complains, they have, all it is just that one action. There's no
Yeah.
back histories, there's
Right.
no purpose behind it, so.
Right.
And because I didn't know what you guys use it for, but now we all know and.
I did mention that there's a hydrant, right? That we have a fire hydrant. And it's right next to the brook at the roadway, obviously, right? It's 12 feet. It's 12 feet of roadway, and there's a hydrant there. So when it snows out, I take the tractor, the front end loader, on it, there's no backhoe, and I excavate all the snow banks and get them out of the way so the pump truck can get off the road and the ladder trucks can get off the road, EMTs, fire department, gas company, and electric, both sides of the road. So it's 60 feet wide.
Right.
Just because the roadway's 12 feet wide, I've seen it, and I know what to do. And I'm not asking, I don't need the town to do it. This town has enough situations to handle when I can, as a competent citizen of this town, can do it.
Yep.
But I like to widen the road there. It's just safer for everybody.
Well, thank you very much for doing all of this. Again, if you're gonna work within the 30-foot area with some equipment, just let us know. and
Absolutely.
That would be it. But, thank you so much for taking the time to come in and talk a little bit about this, let us learn a little bit about it, and
This is cool, it's at 7 o'clock, I'm saying, I don't even wanna go, I'm tired now. That's a freaking excuse.
The same
I
way.
wanted an opportunity, I didn't get to say hello and disclose what was going on.
yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's important the town is aware of things that are going on, because it affects everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Bottom
you.
line.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
Have a great night.
You too.
I did like your explanation about the wooden docks and all that now, because you're right. They're heavy.
Yes. I got
So I
wheels on my
might be
docks.
interested in your aluminum business.
And-
They are heavy.
What you stated about your sections, the dock, the 224s, I know someone, I did some work out in Pockets Bay, out in Laconia. And I talked to the guys at Earl Marine, because I'm interested in boats too, but more importantly, piers. And they help people get piers, and what they do is they buy the old aluminum piers off them. And they're in excellent shape, because people like to get, I want a new one. This guy got a new one, I want a new one. What do you do with the old one?
Right.
And they're still fine piers. They are expensive, but it's a used pier. You know, and I like your thought process of having them on wheels.
Right, my wheel, mine right in, was worth the
Work
money.
smarter, not harder, man.
That's right. I spent 25 years doing it by wood.
Well, that's right, and the whole neighborhood, we get together and all the guys push that thing in, oh boy, it's a lot
Mine,
of work.
mine was funny, my second one, this spring, the ice took it and wrecked it, I had it up in my backyard, right? I had all the legs that were ripped, dismantled, I had the list for Sherman lumber, and I'm looking, I'm like, I took my Sawzall, cut it all up, threw it in the fire pit and burnt it, called FWM, I need a second 24-footer, I'm done.
Yep.
I was gonna rebuild it, I'm like, you know something, I'm gonna make it firewood, I'm done.
There you go. All right, let's move on.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
That's what I said
Thank
to
you.
Sheriff, I said, we gotta start thinking about something different, because I watched them up there, it's awful.
Yeah,
I appreciate living on it, not a problem, but it's a lot of work with that.
yes.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
Have a good night.
Any questions, just call me.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
Thank you, have a good night.
23
You too.
Chestnut Road. Nothing?
Okay.
Okay, we're up to enforcement orders, 23 Chestnut.
I've not heard, I mean, same thing as last time, so they did get, just to fill you in, they got the order of conditions, they're gonna remove the boardwalk and everything, so we're just waiting until they do that aspect of the project to lift the enforcement order, so, haven't heard anything, about timeline or so on and so forth.
7 Florence Way.
No new update either, but I figured I'd reach out to Maureen to see if, she could give me an update to see if the, plantings have been done.
Which one is Florence Way?
The one where, she cut a bunch of trees and right in the
Yes.
BVW.
Yes,
Yeah.
she's a widow.
Yeah,
The one, yeah.
yep. Yeah, no new update on that one either.
All right, administrative, approval of minutes for July 8th,
Shall I
2025.
make a motion to approve the minutes for July 8th, 2025 as written?
I'll second that.
Have a motion, in a second. Everyone in favor?
Aye.
I have read those and I'm good too. Correspondences?
None.
Any new business?
No business.
Any old business?
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second that.
I have a motion in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night.
I'm gonna bang the gavel.